Welcome back to my channel, Kojex Media. Similar Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Oduh are facing impeachment proceedings initiated by those clowns, the Rivers State House of Assembly members, headed by that person that Wike has put there. During a resumed plenary presided over by the Speaker Martins Amaewhule that was supposed to be ending of January, but they suddenly brought it forward to today, lawmakers read notices alleging gross misconduct and constitutional violation. They need to explain to us what is gross misconduct, whether challenging Wike is gross misconduct. Endorsed by 26 members, the Assembly's sudden resumption heightened political tension to me in that state. This is already amid the intense rivalry between Fubara and Wike, the clown who wants to be a minister, and the commissioner and the governor at the same time. And this has deepened uncertainty in Rivers State, and this is trying to show that they have something against this man, against the 2027 coming election, but they just cannot wait. Let's discuss this. Please don't go away. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm your boy Ernest Adebayo Koje. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you've not subscribed, subscribe, like, and comment. This is not an impeachment driven by law. It is a recall of Godfather politics in legislative clothing. In fact, this clothing to me na agbada. Rivers State deserves governance, not political stage taking. The way Wike has turned it to be do or die affair, saying that if Fubara comes back, he will be buried politically. The same way he buried other people, he is now scared of being buried. To me, this is not a political impeachment. It is not even a constitutional one at that matter. The timing and the speed of the impeachment process point to a political vendetta. How can you be on holiday, come and give 7 days notice to re-impeach the same thing that brought state of emergency? So there is no genuine constitutional breaches that they will say that this man has breached. So to me, no detailed or publicly verifiable acts of gross misconduct. They just term it gross misconduct. And so to me, this have been presented to Rivers people and they should not accept this. So impeachment must be a legal safeguard, not a political weapon. Legal safeguard against excesses, not that you just wake up and say, oh, Wike doesn't want this guy to come for second term, and this guy is building momentum for second term, and he's getting support already from the big wigs of this party, and then let's do the hit them up. So to me, it is very wrong. So predetermined loyalty of the assembly members undermine credibility that they would have even had. If not that they are showing that they are over loyal to Wike, who is their godfather, then maybe we would have even listened to them. But you cannot just resume all from after 6 months of nothing, then you want to start another impeachment. Even Tinubu will not allow that hold. So a majority of the assembly members are openly loyal to Nyesom Wike, the clown who wants to be a minister and the governor at the same time, the bulldozer that has no brakes, the storm that is always raging. And so they are not loyal to the sitting governor or the government of the day. So lawmakers who have already vowed to work against the governor's re-election cannot claim neutrality. As a result of that, APC will not allow that impeachment stand. So an impeachment driven by declared adversaries lack moral or democratic legitimacy. And I wonder what that Okorocha or whatever his name is, the so-called APC factional chairman of Rivers State, is even allowing to happen, because that guy should not align with Wike in any way. Otherwise, he is the one who is going to lose. So sudden resumption of plenary exposes bad faith. Imagine you're supposed to resume 26, all of a sudden you are resuming today so they can come and impeach a sitting governor that has just come from 6 months. It cannot work. Tinubu will not even allow that work. So abrupt resuming plenary, for which to me is far ahead of scheduled date, signals pre-planned political execution, not legislative duty, because they have no legislative duty to come and even perform there in the first place. And that's why they held press conference upon press conference, and now they want to go for impeachment. So genuine impeachment process requires, number 1, due process. There must be due process that must be followed. Number 2, transparency. And number 3, adequate notice. In the past, people have done this. It did not work. So they tried to do it to the governor of Edo State at that time, Obaseki, and he dealt with them. And those factions, they didn't collect money until the end of Obaseki's tenure. So these people have to learn. So this rushed approach suggests, instructions were issued somewhere. We know where the instruction is coming from, because the clown is moving from local government to assert himself as an authority, and is desperate to show that he is the one who has the power. So impeachment to me cannot be done, to be used to enforce godfatherism, that you must follow our godfather or otherwise will remove you. If things are done like that, it means that Rivers State is going nowhere. So Rivers State did not vote for a dual government, structure whereby we have a governor or have a godfather governor. It does not work that way. So the electorate chose similar Fubara, not perpetual oversight by a former governor Wike, who wants to be a godfather at all costs. To me, democracy demands that elected leaders govern independently within the law, not by Godfather approval. Otherwise, we'll be going back to the Stone Age. So gross misconduct to me must be specific, not vague. Now, if you say that you are going to impeach him on gross misconduct, because that's what the Constitution states, that you can impeach on gross misconduct, the Constitution requires that, number one, there should be clear allegation. What is the allegation? They will say that, number one, he did not present commissioners on time, he did not present the budget, which he claimed that he had already presented the budget before, these clowns came back. Then they said there should be specific actions, and then there should be evidentiary backing. That is, there should be a backing to say, okay, this is evidence, and this is how we are going to use it. So broad accusations without public disclosure are, to me, procedurally wrong, and they are weak. And now that this man is in APC, they cannot have their way like that. Not that the way they were doing it when he was in PDP, and PDP had no structure at that time. PDP was in a complete mess and comatose. Now APC is thriving. APC will not allow this happen. So courts have repeatedly overturned impeachment based on political manipulations. That's why when they removed the deputy governor of Edo State, he came back. He may come back late, but he's definitely going to come back, and his tenure, he's going to use his tenure. In that case, because he's a deputy, he could not use his tenure. He lost. But for a governor, he will come and use his tenure. So to me, deputy governor's inclusion reveals overreach. What did the deputy governor do now? For you people to even include the deputy governor just shows that people have something against them. So collective punishment is often used when the real target is total collapse of an administration. So, but now they cannot do it because there is no total collapse of an administration. So this move risks destabilizing Rivers State again. It risks destabilizing Rivers State, and this people must know that Rivers is a strategic oil-producing state. So political instability threatens, number one, investors' confidence. I cannot have money I want to go and invest in that kind of state because I know that those clowns who are loyal to Wike, as long as they are there, they'll continue to bring instability. And Tinubu, this thing will not even help Tinubu also. Then it affects security, and then finally economic activity. Look at that time now when they brought soldiers during the emergency rule. Economic activities were paralyzed. So personal power struggles should not endanger state and national interest. Otherwise, the state is the one that will suffer, not the governor. The governor, as he is now, they said 6 billion is in his coffers. So do they think that governor has anything to lose? So impeachment by a minority of the people is what we are saying here. 26 lawmakers do not equal the millions of voters who elected the governor. So those clowns should know that they are just acting as charlatans, and they cannot remove this governor because God has said that this governor must complete his first 4 years at least. So legislative numbers cannot override popular mandate without incontrovertible legal justification, and that's why the people of Rivers need to do something. There should be some form of protest, some form of, I don't want to use the word anarchy, but they should go out and so that they cannot allow people bully their governor the way they are doing. So democracy does not end at the ballot box, but at the same time, it does not begin and end in assembly chambers. Just the way you finish an election, they'll say go to court. Elections should not even be taken to court, except that people know what they are doing, and then they'll send people to go to court because you know that you can never win a court case against a governor of the day. So selective constitutionalism is dangerous, like we are seeing here, and if this trend continues, it's going to affect the democracy, and this may one day bring about American intervention in Nigerian democracy. So we know the real objective, which is control of 2027, because they know that guy is building momentum, and if they do not impeach him now, they may not be able to stop him, which I have seen from all this moving about in local government. So this impeachment attempts is less about governance and more about, number one, controlling the party structures, which Wike thinks he has a party structure, but without the governor, he's failing to control the structures. Dictating succession, that, okay, after this guy, Wike is going to remove this guy and put somebody. I don't even think Wike can even put that Martins, but Martins will become too powerful if he's able to impeach this guy. Then reasserting dominance ahead of 2027. So removing Fubara clears the path for political, re-engineering, not reform, and then Wike will now become a god, a leviathan. And so to me, public sympathy often shifts to the target. They should know that history shows that politically motivated impeachment often backfire. They should know that. So when you galvanize, it will galvanize public support for the victim, because in the end, the underdog is one that will get public support. So Nigerians increasingly reject strong arm politics. I've always said it when I'm talking about Rivers State politics. And Martins Amaewhule and the 25 kangaroos who are supporting him in the assembly should know this, because in the end, it's going to backfire against them, and they may not even get their seats when they come for the next election. So I'll close by restating what I said earlier at the beginning, that to me, this is not an impeachment driven by law. It is a recall of the Godfather politics in legislative clothing, the same way they wanted to do for Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan when they organized a kangaroo recall that failed. So Rivers people deserve governance, not political hostage taking, the way Wike is putting a gun in the head of the governor for him to do all his biddings. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I remain your boy Ernest Omosokwe Adebayo Okoje. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Signing out. Peace.